Good morning, everybody. Sun's about to rise here at OG Foundation in Allodium. This is the follow-up video to the Enter the Dragon video, the very first tour video of this foundation. I don't know how many years ago that was now. I want to say 4 off the top of my head. I'd say almost 4 maybe. So this is the front gate of Allodium. This is the boundary line, the property line that separates Allodium from the state of Vermont. Though we are still in Vermont country here in Allodium. And here is the front. The vehicle has been acquired since that video. I was without a vehicle for several years while developing the off-grid foundation. If you look at the video back then, it was saying, oh, look at the castle. Except you couldn't see a castle then. You could only see the back berm of a Earthship and a mound, and it was kind of a joke, but now it actually looks like a castle. Although it's still unfinished because the structure on the right, which was built last year, doesn't have its facade, but when it gets a facade, it'll look very similar to the rest of this. Just what you're seeing is the facade stripped off and the structural elements, the tire column reinforced with cement, concrete, cement, and then this ferrous cement dome here. So this is storage for all of the wood. We've got a cord over here, 2 cords over there. Got a bunch of animal food stored up in here, extra animal food, so that there's months of supply stored in there. So this structure has the one arch over here, which I reinforced with the steel cross beam. It has this arch here. You can actually see right there what the ferrous cement looks like if it's not covered up with mortar. You can see the lath and the remesh sandwiched in there. And from the side view, you can see how thick the ferrous cement actually is, if I'm holding the phone properly, but less than 2 inches. And then there's another arch over there. There's a tunnel entrance right here to the house, so that the wood, you open up the tunnel, I'll do it for you. And that's where you put the wood. This is a wellhead. It's about, 6 feet tall or something, and then there's a rubber liner thing in there. So you fill that thing with wood, and it'll last at least 4 days when it's really, really cold, but otherwise more than a week. And at some point I'll get that on like a hinge. It's insulated, and so I just wedge that up against it to keep it closed. It's Lewis's favorite door. So there's this arch. This is south facing. The chicken shack is right under, the chicken cave is right under there. And then the room next to it, which is not really being used, is under this arched thing. And then there's another arch here with the staircase. And next year I will be digging that out, and then this arch will access a terraced level that is in between the lower field below it and the wall, which will be on the left. So here's all the other firewood. We got some gas storage, extra propane, all of our energy, food is stored up here. Oh yeah, also up top there's a loft where there's extra storage. This used to be filled with windows. I used them all this year, and at some point this will probably get, when this whole room gets closed off, that'll get developed. Oh, there's a skylight in there. That was the first little skylight I did in one of these structures, and random metal type things sticking out of the roof. That one's actually filling a hole. But if this ends up being a loft that's used, there's lots of hooks and things up there to hang things off of the ferrous cement. So I call this structure the garage structure. And it'll get some more work on it next year. And then I call this one right here, right in front of me, the entry hall. And to the left, that's the gate tower. So they're actually not connected. But we'll start right here, going in the entry hall. And Bitcoin Cash is accepted here. You'll see on all of the doors, I ordered one sticker and one, logo thingy. And the dude sent me 3. I forget his name. I think it's, what's his name in Townsville? I don't know these people very well. I gotta learn more people better. This is the lower bay of the entry hall. You can see there's 3 arches. So this is one arch with a tire column, and then there's windows in between the arch. Here's a second arch where the rigid insulation hasn't been covered with mortar up top. So this is like the second bay, and then this is the third arch. So there's 3 bays basically in this structure. And then we've got some more storage on top in here. And all the tools and stuff are down here. Up here is space I just recently built, which this is not a finished space, but it's going to be finished. And behind that tire wall is the living space and where the energy, the power bank is, or one of the power banks. So this is another space to be built. But showing you the different spaces helps to get an idea of the whole picture of the place. Those who are trying to get that idea. So then the windows here are in this, basically, not all in the second bay, but they give lots of lighting in here. And that's all, these windows are southern facing. So the sun is just rising on our left right now, which is the east. And all this is just gotten kind of rudimentarily done so that this space in here that's enclosed is like the biggest space for sure. And it's mostly just being used for storage, but this was all built this year. This is the entry hall so that you get to the door, to the drawbridge. So here's the drawbridge right there. That thing lifts up, and that's going to be a water feature that it's over, but right now it's just empty. A couple more features of this area is the big door here for vehicles, smaller kind of vehicles. This window here, so this is looking through the gate tower, so the gate tower has views of all the windows. I mean, of all the gates. Has windows viewing all the gates. So this window gets a view of this entryway from this window to the gate tower. And that window also opens. But we will go through this way. Oh, and finally, here's a window to the original Earthship structure, which would have been visible in the original Enter the Dragon video. If you saw that, you would just have seen the back berm of this structure, which is now got a rock face on it. And there's an avocado tree in there, and that's about 9 years old now. Haven't gotten any avocados off it. I've gotten a lot of pineapples. There's lemon trees in there. They're all doing really well. So we'll go this way. Oh no, this is latched from the outside. So we're gonna have to figure this out. Oh no, we're not gonna go through the doggy door. Change of plans. We'll go around. We'll go up. We'll go up and through here. This is an avenue we can go also. Fire escape in case the stone catches on fire. Oh, it's tight though. Alright, so here we are on top. The moon. You see the moon? Got some solar panels there and the greenhouse roof. And there's the sun. So we'll go up onto the castle. So right now this here is the gate tower roof. So there's the chimney. There's a fireplace in the gate tower, which is separate. And the roof is all very well insulated at this point. Well, the dome part is only one R10 or something, but the rest is really well insulated. Here's the top view, looking out to the front. And here's the snowy town nearby, Starksboro. Oh, I gave away my location, darn it. Oh well. And here's a big tire mound, which helps to crib it of privacy. You can see from the sight lines from this tire wall, the road that's behind it. This tire wall kind of disrupts the view. of the crenellations. A little wind turbine there. That's the other chimney, which actually has a fire going now, so that's in the living space. And that greenhouse demonstrates how much heat I'm losing out of the greenhouse via the fact that all that snow is melted there. And a good source of ice dams. Oh, also, you can see the panels are all covered in snow, so after this video, I'm going to, or maybe even during the video, maybe you'll get an action scene of sweeping the panels off to ensure electricity generation. Oh, and in the far view, you can see the entryway to the small tower, which is at the far side of the courtyard, which is in front of all the windows of the living space. So we'll go down there now. Oh, and then also, well, over there is that's the garage structure over there that we're in. So you see the one arch that was right next to the tunnel door. So you get a little perspective. 3 panels here, 4 panels over there. And back down the gate tower. Got the drain right there, which is working really good so far. Here's the boat that I got the first year. It's like storage boat. It's called the Ninja with a G. I didn't name it. But before we go this way, let's wrap around this way and see about this here gate tower. So everything, I didn't clean up for this or prep for this. It's just kind of, everything's going to be kind of messy. So here's around the front. Here is the gate tower front face. It's got its own little patio out here with a tire wall. And then there's like gardens down here, private little gardens. And then this is the approach road. So it's got a great view of the entire approach. You have to go down, around, and then loop around to approach. So in the front, it gets a very good view of the approach. And I'll show you why it's called the gate tower. Well, right now it's just got a bunch of junk in here because I got it all out of the weather. It's a big old water reservoir in here. It's over 1,500 gallons, which hasn't been used for 4 seasons yet, but this could be the start of that. This storage space up there can be a sleeping space at one point. There's this wood stove, which goes up to that chimney. This platform here at some point is going to be kind of like a little efficiency with like a little countertop, maybe a little mini fridge in here, and kind of like the living space for this little unit. So a sleeping space, kind of living space on the platform, and underneath is going to end up getting dug out more and finished. But you can see under there is where the fireplace is. That dirt is going to get dug out, and then rock walls around the side, so that there's kind of like sitting space down there, storage space down there. And so now I'll show you the view out the windows. It's got these 5 windows, which are, I think they're like chimney things or something. I got off the side of the road. But they worked well, so you can see the outlines of the tires going around them, because all of that needs more mortar at some point for finishes. But so here's the view of the entry hall from the gate tower. The first window, the second window, you get a view of this gate right there, which is the road goes down that way, so there's another gate right down there. Not the gate you can see, but there's a gate that's open that swings right to that little cluster of rocks in the middle of the picture, basically. So here's the second window view of that gate. There's the front gate from this window. Then there's another view of the front gate from one angle, but then you can see the approach, the road on the approach. You can see down here. And then through the final window, you get another really good view of that approach road that gives which is why it's called the gate tower, because it has basically a 360 view of all of the approaches, all of the gates. And yeah, it'll get all cleaned up and finished at some point. But at this point, it's basically insulated. All of the gaps are filled. The roof's all insulated, the walls are insulated. There's only a couple areas of that front face, like around those bottles and stuff, and the bottles themselves, which aren't that well insulated, but that's just a little bit of the overall structure. And haven't done the test fire yet, but that's coming up soon. And yeah, that water reservoir is a big security aspect, because obviously people need water to survive. So if you can have a big reserve of water, then that's good for survival. One of the things I think about, kind of like a video game, is like surviving a siege. Like if it was like sieged, or I mean the more realistic thing is like if supply chains go down, then you just can't get supplies, and like can you really survive? Like do you have everything you need? But it's more fun to think of it in terms of a siege, as if you're getting sieged. And we have been under siege a couple different times from bovine creatures that are trying to break in and steal the greenery. Here's the boat. I'm not going to give you a view into the boat, but just got some storage stuff in there. There was somebody living in there at one point, and now it's just kind of storage. This tree's doing great. This tree had a big scar on the side of it from me dragging this boat with a come-along by hand past the tree. There was a big scar on the side of it, but it's all healed now, so happy about that. This is a great tree. I just have to trim it back so it doesn't get too big over the house. So this structure here is just a simple thing to keep the snow out of the entryway down to the kitchen, which I guess is where we'll go now. In case you forgot, Bitcoin Cash is accepted here. This is my plate for the home property. Alright, so hopefully the lens doesn't fog, but here we are in the kitchen area. And this is all pretty much new, and none of it finished. We've got the fridge in here, counter, and dedicated kitchen space. I'm still working on organizing everything and getting everything separated. I got 4 of these steel, iron, I guess, cool columns, and I use them all for structurally in different places. All of the doors and windows are all recycled. Here's one of the first chicken coop, which isn't big enough for all of the chickens, but when I had the flock separated, one of them was in here. It is alright. They could survive in there through the winter, but it'll be too tight for as many chickens as there are. So here's the courtyard up here. It's all kind of terrace with tire planters, and then there's a bunch of fruit trees. This is the outside run for the chicken coop. And here's the front face. At one point, that greenhouse thing had plastic on it, and it could at one point put plastic on it again, because that acts as a buffer zone for the living space behind those windows. So we got fruit trees, apple, 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 plum, 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 and then peach, peach, and there's a peach right here at the corner of this tire wall. This tire wall here is a foundation for a future structure. You can see the entranceway will be here. The walls are going around there to enclose this space. And then this structure here, whoop, he's doing his business, dropping landmines, will be connected to this small tower, which we're entering into now. So right now this is all kind of garden storage stuff. And I haven't fully integrated the plan for this whole thing, but I have a couple different ideas. But now we're going down to the lower field. There is all of this area was claimed since the last Enter the Dragon video. There's a horse over there. So the shipping container there was also procured. It's got 9 195 watt panels on it, so that's the majority of the power generation on the shipping container there, and that has a separate battery bank as well, so there's redundant power systems. One completely enclosed in the shipping container, and then one up top. Over here, this is kind of the far extent of the foundation and the territory of allodium. There's a tire staircase that goes down there. I built that with another member jet. I have allodium, and there's a planter down there, and a tire wall. So then that tire wall comes up, and then Yeah, that basically forms the property line over to this fence over here. Oh boy. So the fence is the external property line. Some planter, some kale are still alive there. I just mulched them just in time for this really cold weather. And we got more planters and garden space. And then all the way down to the far wall, we got these planters for free, recycled. Put that white stuff on the edge of the shipping container so vines can grow up it more and hide it more. There's two panels in each of those. That's all storage in the shipping container. And it's power. It's DC inverter of 48. It's on a 48 volt in there. The DC inverter to 12 broke or something, so the lights aren't working. And then as we get to the, I guess this is the west wall, you can see that the two panels in front of us open like a gate if they're not closed, secured. So there's the other side of that tire wall. You can see the outside of the whole foundation just looks kind of like a brush wall. You can't really see much from the road. But that one arch from the garage that I showed you, I'm going to clean out, and it's going to go to a terrace. So that's coming from somewhere up there, and there will be a terrace level like halfway up this hill, which will be accessed via that garage, and then it'll be rocked up to there. So that'll be a secondary kind of buffer zone, and also a place for production for more gardening. At some point we'll put a nice sign up there in between those two big tall posts. I think I'm running out of energy because my phone just went on dim, which I'm guessing means I'm at 5%, but we'll see if we can get this tour finished. So we're going back up to the small tower. Into this future citadel. There'll most likely be a citadel up here, and the small tower will most likely be like the shower underneath. And then here's the courtyard. This is one peach right here, and two more peaches over there. Here's our 3 plums, and there's 3 apples. And super productive. This is how a tire wall. I don't think these tires were all pounded, but this is a tire wall for privacy, so it's planted, filled with dirt and planted. Great free privacy wall. This is the bedroom. There's the chicken shack, which at one future point will be a walk-in closet. And this space right here will likely end up getting enclosed somehow. But for right now, got the chickens in the closet, nice and warm. How's it going, chickens? Y'all wanna come outside? Their first night all together. It's a good thing no one was outside in that cold. Hey, Sammy. There y'all. Alright, well, maybe I'll just go in through here. Oh. Alright, so we're going into the house now. Oh boy. This is, there's a room on that other side, which is like a spare room. Super messy everywhere, but oh well, that's that. Got our weapons over here. Gotta have them ready. And a raised bed. And then these armoire things fit really well. They're all recycled. This is the living room. It's like a jungle in here. Got some water collection. Oh, it all went off. Man. My phone powered off, so I just charged it up a bit and I'll finish the tour here. This water collection is coming from the valley between those two structures, and then this has a water pump, goes over to a water pressure tank, and that's what gives us the rainwater as pressure water. So there's cold running water, just not hot running water. This is the really messy living room, but you get to see it just as it is. Instead of a lot of modern living rooms that have a centerpiece of a television, Our centerpiece is the fish tank here. That's Uton swimming around, and it's always live action. And then the plants have grown up so much into the window that you don't get too much window space, but it's nice thriving to be in this kind of like thriving lush environment when it's snowy and freezing outside. So we've got a little living room space here. There's the electrical is very just simple at this point, of extension cords, power splitters running from the power bank, which is over here. So we've got 500 amp hour batteries in parallel on an inverter, and then there's the charge controller with all the spider webs. I don't mess with the spider webs because I'm not bothered by them, and the bugs are taken care of by the spiders. Here's Rudy still hanging out here by the fireplace. Here's the greenhouse out front of the original Earthship. So here, if I back up a bit, this door frame right here was the door frame of the first Earthship. So there's the Earthship, and then out front of it was this greenhouse, which was going more at an angle like that. It's been replaced since because it was all not long-term construction, but so it's just this little space, the wood stove, little greenhouse, and the Earthship space. Here is what the greenhouse space looks like. You can actually see there's well, it's full of these spider plants, and then the pineapple thrive in here. You see a couple pineapple, and then the avocado are busting in through the Earthship room. But everything in here is doing really well, except for that sumac, which died on the far end. But thermally, this greenhouse is not performing well, but I got a little bit of winterizing to do. This is the original Earthship structure, and I'm thinking I'm going to end up converting this into a bathroom. So we've got like a shower basin here. We've got a tub that we can use. I bought a sauna heater. I just need this wooden platform thing folds up so I can get it out of the way. But the first, that bottle is for extractions. The first year I was in here, I basically just slept underneath there, and then I would hang out up here on the chair, and it'd be nice and warm. Bottles, like all of this, would store heat. And I was just in this one little room for the first winter with the greenhouse out front. I would open up the windows during the daytime and the doors, and then at nighttime I would like close them all up, and this room is really well insulated in here. So right now it's just kind of like storage and miscellaneous, but I believe the plan for it is that I'm going to clear out all of this, and I'm just going to make it a dedicated bathroom. So it'll have like a tub that will be covered, like you'll have like the plants above the tub, and then some kind of sauna in here, and then a shower. I think that's the idea for in here. And so yeah, we looked in through that little window. So that's the little window that's looking out to the entry hall. So this structure is what I call the Earthship, because it's the only structure that's kind of close to an Earthship design. It's got the U shape, so you see the tires here. That's as tall as the tire wall goes across. So a U shape of tires that goes around. This planter here that the trees are growing out of, that's actually open to the ground. So these trees, these are probably like I don't know if there's any other, there's lemon and avocado here, so they're growing in the ground here in Vermont without, or I mean they're like tropical plants or whatever. So, but it's not like what I'm getting at is that's not like a potted space that's open. The roots are open, so it's rooted in the ground. So I think that's a significant kind of thing. So coming out of the Earthship structure, there's the wood stove and the greenhouse. Here's the other side of the tunnel. So it's really convenient to have the wood storage on the other side, be able to fill it right here, and then just be able to take it from right here to the wood stove right there. Whereas before I got that tunnel working, it was like an obstacle course just to get the wood in here. And then a little storage. This is the room that's not really being used, but the room that's in between. Oh, another weapon between. That you saw the top of. I don't know. There's like a futon type couch thing in there, and it's kind of like a spare bedroom, but it's also full of stuff. So it's basically just not even being used. Kind of like the Earthship room. We're building all these spaces and they're not even being fully used. But anyways. that, I think, concludes this tour, right? Is there anything I forgot? There's a little tunnel in the back corner which wraps around to the greenhouse, which helps with airflow to circulate. Here's the current kitchen space. We got cold water, and then for hot water, I'll heat up some hot water on the stove and put it right here, and then just like dip the sponge into the hot water, get it soapy, clean the stuff off, and then rinse it with the cold water, and then makes it pretty easy to. I can do a whole sink full of dishes with one pot of hot water, doing it like that, and it's fairly simple. So here's the view looking south, and another little fish tank aquarium kind of thing without fishes but just plants growing. And I think that's about the kitchen is basically migrating out of this living space and into this kitchen space, but everything's in process. So I will just walk you guys out to finish up this here tour. So we're gonna have the water feature there, and the counter space of the kitchen will look right out to this. Water feature, as well as the entryway. But it'll be like a koi pond once I get it all figured out. And then this big old window here. If you remember, in the gate tower, on the far side of where the bed was, there was that like fruit-looking thing. So you take down that blanket, you put curtains in there so that from the bed you'd also have a view of the water feature. And so the drain pipe from up on the gate tower, I extended it so it's going all the way to the far side of the hill, so we're getting less water and freeze issues going on in here. And we'll cross the drawbridge and back out. Since the little break in the window when I charged the phone, I swept off the panels, came in here and closed these. And there's a little peephole here, a little piece of unused equipment, so you can peep out, see what's out there. Camera's on the wrong side to be able to do it. And then see how well this door opens with the snow. So far it's not looking so hot. There we go, a couple of rocks in the way. Alright, and that concludes your tour. See y'all later.